Good afternoon,
Today,
madam.
I just would like to discuss about the emergence of Jainism, Buddhism, and Islam in India. Okay, so as yesterday we were discussing about the Hindu base of Indian society. Yeah, good afternoon. So Hindu base of Indian society, where we have seen the
Madam,
scriptural.
can you tell page number?
See, I don't have a book now. Okay, I don't have a book. The new syllabus book I don't have. I'm just going according to the syllabi content, whatever I have. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm briefly going with all the things. Right. So yesterday we were discussing about the Hindu social base here. Hindu social organization base, the foundations for Hindu social organization. So we have seen the Vedic system, where it supports the Vedic system has been, it is about the two different aspects where we have seen the Shrutis and the Smritis here. So usually we say that the Shrutis are the unwritten ones, orally, which has been translated orally, which has been given from one person to the other person. So it went from mouth to mouth like. Okay, so usually what are these, the Shrutis and the Smritis actually? So it talks about something where the performances, the procedure to do certain yagnas or the performance of the what is called the sacrifices, and not only this, but at the same time we have seen the conduct of the life or the how a person can lead the life. So all these, like, it is something where you have given a Hindu person a perfect life system where they have to go with their own the rules, regulations, or the norms and the conditions. So briefly, this is about the Vedic period, and at the same time, the foundations can be seen in the form of it, where we have traced, or at the same time, the Purusharthas on one side and the Ashrama system on the other side. So we have also studied like Purusharthas, so the four ideals which is to be followed by each and every Hindu. Being a Hindu member, Hindu community member, they have to compulsorily follow these four ideals here. So four ideals we have seen: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay, then the next side we have the ashrama system, the ashrama dharma. So ashrama dharma, which is usually the four stages of a person's life. Okay, so four stages of a person's life, where we have seen the brahmacharya, a student life, where a person, a child learns, takes the knowledge from the staying with the guru in the ashram, and at the same time, so it's up to 15, 16, 17 years here. Okay, then after which the whole life till up to 16 or 15, the child is going to be with the guru, and he learns the knowledge of the worldly societies, and then he learns the letters here. So everything after finishing with the knowledge acquisition, the child comes out of the brahmacharya. So he is totally a disciplined person, regulated person, and he is a been controlled person here. Okay. Then when he comes out, he enters into the second stage of his life, which is very, very important and which is very crucial in order to bring the continuation of the society. So this is with where a person enters into the grihasthashram by selecting a rightful partner, and at the same time, the mating, what's called the marital nuptials is been, the person enters into the marital bond here with his own partner, and then he set up his own family unit, and then the conservation, the progeny continues for the family, and then after the children are born, they take up the the father takes up the responsibilities by giving economic security, social security, and every kind of security to the family unit, and then after growth of the children, they are again well financially settled, they enter into their own economic activity, and they settle themselves in the life. And later, we have seen the last stages like sannyasa and the vanaprastha. Like after completion of this particular two different, what is called the very important aspects of the Hindu social organization, the ashrama dharma and the purusharthas. Now, today I would like to discuss with regard to what is called the emergence of Jainism, Buddhism, and Islam in the Indian system. Okay, like. I think everyone knows, because we have already studied, you all might have come across in your school days, like in the school books, where we talk about Mahavira, we talk about Gautama Buddha, we talk about Islam, the Muhammad Prophet, the teachings and the preachings of the Muhammad Prophet, etc., etc. Okay, but when did actually, we start with Jainism here, when did actually Jainism and Buddhism usually evolve in the system? And what is this, whether it is a religion or something where we can relate it to Hinduism, or it is part of the Hinduism, or something which is in isolation with the Hinduism, or is it a sect of the Hinduism? Okay. So now today I just would like to talk about Jainism first. Now, Jainism is one of the ancient religions in Indian society. I repeat once again, Jainism is one of the ancient religions of the Indian system. Okay. In India, we have, say, yesterday I was talking about cultural assimilation. So I said, like, India is such a country where you can trace diverse religious faiths in the Indian society. Okay, so we have Islam, we have Jainism, Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, Christianity, etc. So, like, we are such a country, we are with such a continent that we accepted all kinds of faiths in the Indian society. So one of the ancient religions, see, we trace Hinduism as one of the ancient religions. Okay. But other than Hinduism, we also trace what is called Jainism in the Indian society as a very old and ancient religion in the India. Okay, but which is also still it is not where we cannot say that it now no more we don't have the Jainism, but it is a minority group of religion. But still we have this religion existing in the Indian system, mostly in the south part and also the west part of the Indian society. Now, we have the name Jainism. The name Jainism derives from, it has been derived from the Sanskrit term Ji. Ji means what is to conquer. Okay, I repeat once again, Jainism is a term which has been derived from the Sanskrit term Ji, J-I. Okay, which is nothing but it is to conquer. Okay, it refers to the ascetic pattern. So here we usually praise the monks, the spiritual gurus in the Jainism, where usually there is no praising of the founder of Jainism here. I repeat once again, there is no a person or a god or goddess where we can praise them as the founder for this particular religion. Okay, so but we have the followers in Jainism, and at the same time, as I said, whenever you call as a Jain means a conqueror or the follower of the monks here. Okay, so once again I repeat here, Jainism is a very old religion in Indian society, and as it is a religion in old religion in Indian society, it still exists as a minority group in Indian society. And at the same time, to get to know the meaning of Jainism here, Jainism is a term where you try to trace it from the Sanskrit term. And here we say that Ji means to conquer. So to conquer is where you are talking about the ascetic life of a person in the Jainism. So they mostly propound with the ascetic life. Okay, so the ascetic life of the person is given importance in the Jainism. And at the same time, we have that usually the monks of the Jainism, the Jain people usually fight against what is called the passions and the bodily senses. Passions and the bodily senses to gain enlightenment or purity of the soul. So, for what is the purpose of maintaining the ascetic life here? In order to conquer. So, in order to conquer, what is the pathway here? The pathway is they are always fighting against the bodily senses and also the passions in the life here. Okay, so that's the battle is against the passions and also the bodily senses, where it is going to reach them. It is going to give a way for them to bring enlightenment of these persons here. Okay, so in order to gain enlightenment, all this has been performed by the Jaina people or the followers of the Jainism. Okay, the adherents, adherents means the persons who follow Jainism, usually they are also called as the followers of the conqueror. So if, for example, if I follow Mahavira, so Mahavira is a Jain. Okay, he is a Jain. He is the conqueror. So if I follow the Mahavira, I am a Jain. Okay, so that means I am an adherent. I am following Mahavira's sayings and the preachings here. Fine. Now, in the next aspect, we come across, when did it originate? When can we trace the evolution or the origin of the religion called Jainism here? Okay, Jainism originated somewhere in between 7th and the 5th BC, 6th BC, 5th BC in Indian society. Okay, so where it is somewhere in the eastern part of the Indian society near the Ganges basin in the eastern part of India, and which purely the evolution, the origin is mainly because of to oppose the ritualistic life of the Hinduism. I repeat once again, Jainism evolved in order to oppose it. Usually, whenever when they came out as a religion, when they came out as a what is called the enlightened monks here. So their duty is to only to see that they are opposing the ritualistic life of the Hindu people. Okay, the Hinduism, the Hinduistic order. So here the ritualistic life of the Brahmanic schools here, whose prestige, the Brahmanistic school, whose prestige, that is the status life or the privileges for the Brahmin people or the Brahmanistic community here, where the prestige is claimed for purity and their ability to perform the traditional rituals and sacrifices to interpret their meaning. So usually when you take up the Varna system, when you take up the Hindu order here, so Hindu order talks about the caste, the Varna system, where you have the Brahmins, which are being called as the purified class, or the pure class and the pure class. Okay, so when they are called as a pure class, they are also the ritualistic class people. Ritualistic class in the sense they are given the function to perform the rituals for the society. Fine, the yagnas and the performances, the recitement are only done by these people called the Brahmins. Fine. So this was totally opposed by the religion called Jainism. Okay. Then again, next week we talk about the new, this is a very new religion which promoted the ascetic life, as I said. Fine. And at the same time, they also wanted to abandon what is called the ritual and the domestic and also the social actions and attainment of the spiritual illumination to will. So what they wanted to abandon? They wanted to abandon the ritual and also the domestic and social actions in the society. So when you're just foregoing all these things, when you're foregoing the domestic life, when you're foregoing the ritualistic life, that means you're more marching towards the enlightenment, or you're more marching towards going towards the spiritual enlightenment in the life. Okay. Now, freedom from repeated rebirth. So they actually believe in what is called, they wanted to totally neglect what is called the freedom from the belief in the rebirth. How can we get rid of the rebirth? Usually Hindu system believes in the karma. Okay, karma is where a person is being deemed to take different many forms and different many rebirths here. Okay, so usually there is Varga and Narka in Hindu system. So Varga is something where when you put,
Hello,
do the
ma'am.
yes.
Hello, ma'am. Which subject it is? Mean which lesson it is, ma'am?
Actually, we are in the first unit.
Yes, first unit.
I'm talking about Jainism, Buddhism, and Islam.
I can't understand, ma'am. Your voice is breaking.
My voice is clear to you all?
No, ma'am. It's breaking.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
It's breaking.
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, now it's okay, ma'am. Tell me, ma'am.
Right? It's okay now?
Yes, ma'am. Which subject it is, ma'am?
Actually, do you belong to sociology?
Yes, I am sociology. Which lesson it is, ma'am? Which lesson?
This is social structure and change. Indian social structure and change.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now let me tell. Now we are in the first unit. First unit yesterday and the day before yesterday, I finished the instruction part of the paper. And yesterday I done with the Hindu social order. Okay, I done with Hindu social organization. Today we are I also finished with the cultural assimilation. In the first unit, we have these three topics, subtopics. Okay. So now today we are talking about the emergence of Jainism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Islam in the Indian system. Okay, Indian system.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that clear? ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసుకున్నాం మనం.
Okay, ma'am.
ఫస్ట్ చాప్టర్ లోనే ఉన్నాం మనం. ఫస్ట్ యూనిట్ లో ఉన్నాం. ఫస్ట్ యూనిట్ లో సబ్ టాపిక్స్ అండ్ టాపిక్. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I got it, ma'am.
Do you all have your book now with you?
Yes,
No, ma'am.
ma'am.
I don't have my book. I am searching in PDFs, ma'am. That's why I'm asking you, ma'am.
No, don't search in PDF. You just go to the syllabi content.
Because, ma'am, I am staying in hostel. I didn't bring my books. That's why I'm searching in my.
No problem. But at least you can get the syllabus. Okay. You can get this book later, but at least syllabus you should have, right? You can just borrow from your other friends. Tell them to just forward it to you. Okay, fine.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
first we have three different subtopics, right? We have what is called Hindu social organization, the Vedic Indian society. Okay, and then the second subtopic is emergence of Jainism, Buddhism, and Islam. Then the third subtopic is cultural assimilation and unity and diversity in the India. Okay, so yesterday I've done with the first subtopic. I finished with the Hindu social organization. We have completed with the Purusharthas and the Ashrama Dharma. And I also finished with the cultural assimilation in unity and diversity in Indian society. So today I'm talking about the emergence of Jainism and also Buddhism in Indian society. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
ma'am.
so as I was talking, when you talk about Jainism, like mostly when we talk about the founder, who actually is the founder of Jainism here. So when you say any religion, we usually trace with the who is the founder or who somebody should be there, which might have forwarded all these teachings and other things here. But usually when we talk about Jainism, we have no founder. Usually we cannot trace any founder for this particular religion, but we have the Tirthankaras. So I repeat once again, we have the Tirthankaras. So Tirthankaras are the followers and they were the preachers and they were considered as the gurus or the monks of that particular religion. Okay. Here we try to trace what is called usually Parsvanatha. I repeat once again, Parsvanatha was the 23rd Tirthankara of Jainism. Parsvanatha was the 23rd Tirthankara of Jainism. And later we have Mahavira, who was a very, Mahavira belongs to a very royal family. Okay. So like Gautama Buddha, even Mahavira belongs to a royal family, but he totally rejected his own royalty and he came out as and started leading a life of an ascetic, and then he just went on with preaching the faiths of this particular religion. Okay. So the 24th Tirthankara was Mahavira. Okay. 23rd was Parsvanatha, 24th was Mahavira. So they were not the founders of this religion, but they were the Tirthankaras, the monks of that particular religion. Okay. Now here, what exactly, but when we say Tirthankara, what is Tirthankara? The meaning of the Tirthankara. Tirthankara means the ford maker, the ford, F-O-R-D, ford maker. Okay. So they are making the sword, the ford, in order to protect that particular faith and the belief system. Okay. Mahavira was also a son. As I said, he belongs to a royal family or a aristocratic family here. Mahavira was the son of a chieftain. So it was a kind of zamindari family or the royal family. Okay, a very lord and the rich class family of he usually comes from. Okay, and at the age of 30, he renounced the princely status and then he came out to take up the ascetic life. So he started very young age, he came out totally rejecting his own royalty and the aristocratic life, and he came out to take out as he became an ascetic. He just started his own ascetic life in the age of 30 years. Okay. Then Mahavira was, as I said, it usually arose in northeastern Indian system. So where can we trace Jainism? Northeastern part of the Indian society. So mountainous region and the part of the eastern part, we can trace the Jainism as a religion which we have traced in the Indian system. Okay, that too in the 6th century BC. Okay, then what are the preachings of Mahavira? Actually, is there any god in Mahavira? Jainism? Can we just identify any god or goddesses or worshipping pattern, or is it a pure? Can we really give the status of a religion? If so, is it a part of the Hindu religion? Okay, why? Because the Indian system is totally occupied with the Hindu religion. Okay, the dominant religion was usually Hinduism. So we may have a feeling that even Jainism belongs to Hinduism and it is a separate part of the Hinduism, but not. Usually, many followers, many philosophers also say that it is a part or it is a sect of Hinduism, but it is not so. So it is in isolation with the Hinduism. They have come out as a pure religion. They have come out as a very what is called an ascetic life leading religion, and also they had started preaching with certain kind of principles here. So what are the faiths which usually we find among the followers of the Jainism? Okay. So Jainism, usually we have nearly about around 4 million followers in Indian society. It's a minority group in India, but still we have the existence of the Jainism in Indian society. Okay. Now here, it is a protest religion against the Hinduism and the practices in the Hinduism. I repeat once again, It is a protest religion. Like, for example, students, like you must have, you must be knowing the history, history in Indians, history of the world history here, where we try to trace the Christianity in the European communities, countries, where there is also the Catholicism was the major dominant religion, but there arise a separate sect called Protestant religion, the Protestant Christianity, which revolted against the existing Catholic Christianity. So likewise, even in Indian society, when you talk about Jainism, even it is a protest religion against the existing Hindu social order. Okay, so existing practices of the Hindu religion and also the ritualistic and the belief systems in the Hindu practices. Okay, the Hindu system. So here, when we talk of practices of the Vedic religion, fine. In here, there are 5 principles of Jainism, the teachings of the Jainism. Okay, what are the, so usually any adherents, any follower of the Jainism must follow all these principles here. Okay, so what are they? Non-violence is one thing, so you should not harm any creatures in the world. Right? Non-violence is one very strict principle to be followed. So that's the reason. Jaina student, Jaina followers of Jaina, you find that very strict Jaina, the monks of the Jaina, usually they tie a cloth. So when COVID we started wearing the mask, isn't it? So the mask, the very pure white color mask is worn by the Jaina people. Okay, so not all Jaina people, but Jainist people, but usually the monks in the Jainist people, usually they wear the white mask. So you know why they usually wear the white mask? That means even the breath of the person, the breath of that monk should not kill a small, minutest bacteria or even a minutest creature in the system. Okay, so that's the reason why that is the very strict follower of the non-violence. So usually they don't kill any animals or no sacrifices here, but they usually practice non-violence among the followers. Okay, not to speak lies. So you always should speak the truth. Whenever you are in a very disgusted system, when you are even in frustration, but still you follow the path of not to speak lie. Okay, so you should always speak the truth. So it's really a very tough practice. Why? Because usually very now and then maybe some situations make us to speak lie, but very strictly the followers, if you feel that you are a Jaina, okay, if you feel that you are an adherent, you are a follower of Jainism, then at no cost, you cannot even think about that particular situation, but you should go with a practicing of the truth only, speaking the truth. Okay, then we have not to steal. Okay, so the followers should not also, whoever believe in Jainism, whoever believe in Mahavira, whoever believe in the followings of the Mahavira, they should not also steal. Fine. Even sometimes what happens is, and the people who are in some situation, maybe the economic situation or some kind of frustrative situation, some situations make them unconsciously, sometimes it happens that you try to just steal it. It is a kind of attraction. The material things make a person attractive. Okay. So when it is attraction, we try to sometimes steal the things. So, but this, the follower, being a follower of the Jaina or Mahavira, you should not steal anything here. Okay. Then not to have property. As I said, Mahavira he has just forgone, he has just forgiven his own what is called the royal life, and then he made himself as an ascetic. So he led an ascetic life. So that means the followers mostly, usually it says that you should not have property. So whatever you earn, it should be consumed by you, it should be utilized by the family. So you should not accumulate the wealth and the properties for you people or for the family. Fine. Then not to marry. So usually not to marry antane ascetic life anna. Okay, so sannyasam puchukodam, sannyasi laga batkadam anedi ascetic life here. So that's nothing but you're going to preach the people in the society, and you're going to make them, give them the directions to lead all these principles, to follow all these principles. So you require, they require no emotions and the bondage with the family and your own children or the wife or somebody else in the family, but it should be a very pure life for you. It is yourself, you're realizing yourself, inner self, and also you're leading a spiritual life. So this spiritual life requires no marriage. Fine. So that means you should not marry in your lifetime as a follower of the Jainism. Okay, so these are the very strict principles to be followed by any adherents in the Jainism. Okay. Now, next we try to come across, usually, is there any God? First of all, when I put the question, is there any God in Jainism? No, absolutely no. There is no goddesses here, no God, no goddesses in Jainism. It is only the highest elevated values we usually worship and we praise. Okay, so this is something about the Jainism, which is a very, very kind of a highest elevated type of religious practices in the Indian system. Now we have Buddhism. The next same simultaneously, I think the same around 7th to 4th BC, 5th BC, we trace evolution on the origin of what is called emergence of Jainism. So also simultaneously around 5th BC, we also trace Buddhism as a religion here. Okay, but who is the founder of it? So in Jainism, we have no founder. So we have only the Tirthankara. So Parsvanatha was the 23rd and the 24th was Mahavira. But when you talk about Buddhism, right, you usually have a founder for the Buddhism as a religion here. But when you talk about Buddhism here, Siddhartha, we all know that Siddhartha, who is also called as Buddha, and Gautama Buddha, was the founder of this religion called Buddhism. So Gautama Buddha, just like Mahavira, also belonged to a very royal family, and he was a prince in his own dynasty there. Fine, he was his own royal family, but still he was a married person, but he just came out of that family and he totally rejected his familial life or the marital life and the familial life and the royal life. He came out and leading a ascetic life once again, in search of enlightenment, in search of the reality of the life, in search of the spirituality of the life here. Okay, when you talk about what is called Buddhism here, we come across, it is Buddha means the enlightened. Buddha means the enlightened. Okay, the meaning of Buddha is enlightened. So we call Siddhartha as Gautama Buddha. Buddha means he was an extraordinary personality, extraordinary being, and he's an enlightened person. Okay, here something we have the path to enlightenment. How do a person can get an enlightenment? So there is a pathway where you have to follow the pathway. You have to walk in that particular pathway. The path to enlightenment is your morality, your meditation, and wisdom. So most of the Buddhist monks, usually the followers, every time very regularly, they go for meditation. That means when you meditate, you will definitely enlighten yourself. Okay, so you become an enlightened person. Then Buddhists meditate they believe that it helps awaken the truth. So when you meditate, it helps you to know the truth, the reality of the society, the reality of the beings, the reality of your life, isn't it? So in order to get the reality of the life, the truth of the life here, you require to meditate as a follower of Buddhism. So this is what is usually preached by the Buddhist monks and all. Okay. Now, it is not an organized religion. Is it like we have Hinduism as an organized religion, Christianity as an organized religion, Islam as an organized religion, but Buddhism is not an organized religion. But actually, it is only a way of life. Way of life is like where you try to follow the principles, you just lead your life taking the base of those principles which has been propounded by the Gautama Buddha. Okay, I repeat once again. Buddhism is not an organized religion. Okay, it is not an organized religion. Do we have any churches like what a structure for the Buddhism? No, we don't have such kind of structures where you go, pray, worship and all. Of course, we have shrines for the Buddhist monks and all, but still they are not the gods and the goddesses. Why? Because they don't believe in the existence of the omnipotent. They don't believe in the existence of any god and goddesses, but usually it is the highest elevated values. And again, they believe that God is omnipotent, that it is everywhere, wherever you go, in whichever creature, among the plants, among the living things, among the non-living, you find some kind of existence of the omnipotent. Okay, but actually when you talk about what is called, how do you so they usually when we talk about it is a Buddhism, the principles of the Buddhism, the pathway of the Buddhism to get enlightenment, it is something where more than a religion, it is a way of life. That means you just follow and you just move with your life, right? So you're just walking in your life, you're moving your life, you're leading your life, taking the base of Buddhism, ideals and the Buddhism principles here. Okay, so it is something where we talk about, it is a kind of spiritual tradition. Emantamu? స్పిరిచువల్ ట్రెడిషన్. బుద్ధిజం అంటే ఒక స్పిరిచువల్ ట్రెడిషన్ అనమాట. ఎట్లయితే మన కస్టమ్స్ ని ట్రెడిషన్స్ ని మనం ఫాలో అవుతూ ఉంటాము లైఫ్ లో, ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే Buddhism principles also, we take it as a spiritual tradition. So that means it is part, it may become a part of ourselves, and it may not be also. Okay. So when you like the traditions you take into your life, you just accept and you move with your all the traditions. So that's how it is a way of life only, but it is not an organized religion. Then when you talk about what is called, there are a basis for some the what is called the Buddhism here. What are the bases here? There are some noble truths. What are the noble truths we have? They usually embrace the concepts of the karma, that is the law of creation and effect. Karma ante edi, karma ante manam eppudu man usual ga every time in our own life we say it is our karma, it is our karma. That means you have the karma is something which is related to the cause and effect factors. So your karma is because of your cause. So the desires you maintain, the more the desires, the more will be your painful situation. Okay. So the cause and the effect factors which we relate it to the karma. So karma ante actually it is something where we are relating it to the cause and effect factors, and usually they embrace the concept of the karma. Okay. So the reincarnation, they also believe in the what is called the reincarnation, the rebirth. So in order to get rid of all these things, okay, our desires, korikalu desires, some kind of status, positions, properties, wealth, ivanni unte manishiki chaala baadha untundi. That's what exactly even Mahavira and also the Buddhism talks about. But actually, what are the major principles of Buddhism? What usually the faith, the Buddhism gives us as in the form of a faith. Fine. We come across, sorry. All existence is full of suffering. So when you are there in a society, all the existence, fine, you experience with some kind of sufferings, right? All the existings are with full of sufferings only. So no man is ignored with the suffering. No man is in isolation with the suffering. Every person has to suffer in some way or the other way. Okay. All sufferings has a cause. Why there are sufferings for the man? Because every suffering has a cause. There are some positive factors which is giving you the suffering. Then what are the causes here? The cause is your desire. Entadi? The cause is your desire. What the suffering enduku vastundi ante some causes are there, some reasons are there. What are the reasons here? The reasons are your desires, your korikalu, your own korikalu, whatever you every time, every day, podu levagane nenu idi tinali, adi tinali, I want this, I want that. That those are the desires we usually maintain in our life. So when there are the desires, that desire becomes a cause for the root cause for the sufferings in the human life. Okay. Then there is a way to end the suffering. Of course, when there are the causes, they may also end up with some kind of sufferings, but you can also kill the suffering. You can stop the sufferings. You can stop the pain of suffering in your life. But what is the way where you can end the suffering here? The way is where to stop the suffering, the cessation of the suffering, to stop the suffering is called nirvana. Okay. So you, in order to stop the suffering, which is called as nirvana, this can be attained by following eightfold path. Eightfold path. Okay. To stop the suffering, you require to go for nirvana, which is called as nirvana. But to bring nirvana, to get nirvana, to attain nirvana, you require to follow eightfold paths. What are the eightfold paths? Manaki Mahavira ichinaduga konni principles etlaite unnayo, in the same form even Buddhism has Lord Gautama Buddha also has given some kind of preachings, and in these preachings we come across all these principles, the eightfold path. Okay. The right view. Okay. What is the first path here? The right view. You try to understand in the right way. You should have a right understanding, right view. Okay. The right mental resolve. The right mental resolve. Think in a right way. You try to develop a rightful way where you can resolve certain things. Okay. Don't go in a wrong pattern. Right. Then again, right speech. You always speak rightfully. So your speech should be rightful. Okay. Then right action. What is this right action? Your behaviors, your attitude, everything should be in a right way. Okay. Then right livelihood. Right. Yesterday, I think if you all remember, students, we have studied the Purusharthas. Dharma. The first ideal is Dharma. Dharma says that whatever actions you do, whatever responsibilities take up, whatever work you do, whatever economic activity you involve in, your accumulation of the wealth should be in a rightful way. Okay, so not an illegal activities, or don't kill others, or don't steal from the other person, but it should be in a form of dharma, in a rightful manner. Fine. So that's the and of course, dharma also includes shouldering the responsibilities, not giving up all the responsibility. You require to take up the responsibilities also. So it's in the same manner, one of the eightfold path also talks about what is called the right livelihood. Okay, you should lead a rightful life in your lifetime. Okay, so the lifetime and the livelihood also, whatever you earn should be in a rightful manner. Then the right effort. Yes. What is this right effort? Very good point here we come across. The right effort. See, usually most of the people feel that I am doing something, but I am not getting that result. Okay. But I am doing something which is not directed properly. You're not organizing your efforts in a proper way. Okay. So that's the reason why you're not getting your result in a rightful manner. So whatever you do, it should be you should put a rightful effort through a very interest level. You try to strive hard, so that will definitely become a right effort. Okay. Right mindfulness. What is this right mindfulness? In a proper way, you think in a proper way, put your effort, put your concentration, so that becomes a right mindfulness. Then again, right concentration also. So the same thing, it has been again there, right concentration when you're doing, see, for example, students are preparing for many exams nowadays. Okay. So our government has given some notifications. So usually most of the students say that we are preparing 8 hours, 10 hours, the whole day. But whether you are taking in a rightful way, whether you are really concentrating in a proper way. So even through a right concentration, with 1 hour preparation also, we can achieve a great things. Okay, so the right concentration is also very important, which is a major important eightfold path of Buddhism. Okay, so these actually the religion also condemns. So these are the eightfold paths where a follower has to follow these principles. So when I say I'm a Buddhist person, I'm a follower of Lord Gautama Buddha. So I believe in Gautama Buddha, then I should definitely has to follow all these eightfold paths. Okay, so it depends whether you are really following it or not. That's a different matter, but we require to follow all these eightfold paths, right? Then, so actually, what exactly the other things we have in Buddhism? So this religion condemns the sacrifices, non-violence, again, like Mahavira said, it is non-violence. So also Buddhism believes in non-violence here, no sacrifices, and at the same time opposed supremacy of Brahmins. So this is also one of the major important religion which is revolting against, which is going against the existing religion at that time, the Hinduism. The major dominant order in the society was Hinduism, and it is totally opposing the supremacy of the Brahmins here. Okay, and against the caste system, because caste system, it placing different people in different status here. So it is also opposing this particular religion, also oppose the caste system, the practice of the caste system in the Indian society. What exactly caste system we'll study in the other topics. Okay, then it rejected the authority of the Vedas, and this religion is usually followed, even it is a minority religion in Indian society, but almost the world communities of you find the spread of Buddhism. And also, I think even in Nepal, it is a dominant religion there. Of course, Hinduism is a order in Nepal, but then we also have Buddhism there, and Tibet and other part of the northeastern parts, almost foreign countries like Sri Lanka is mostly the dominant religion is Buddhism. Fine, but in India, which is the birthplace of Buddha, Lord Buddha, and also what is called the Buddhism as a religion, but still we have the minority group in Indian system. Whatever it is, so we get to know that these two religious sect may be or an independent religion, may be the way of life, maybe whatever it is. So they have given us the rightful principles where a person can, even I may not be a Buddhist, but I may follow all these principles in my lifetime. Okay, so this is where I'm leading the life of a way of life which has been propounded by Lord Mahavira or propounded by Gautama Buddha. Okay, hope you all are following my points. Now, entering into the last one is Islam. Okay, so Andakani, what I said is cultural assimilation is with diverse religions in Indian society. We respect all the religions in the Indian society, whatever the religion may be. We respect each and every religion, and we also respect the faith of each and every religion. We respect all the beliefs in the religions here. Okay. Now, we come across at the end, we try to talk about Islam. Okay, so the Islam has come from somewhere in the Middle East of the Indian, from Middle East, it entered into the Indian system, right? And then at the same time, when you talk about Islam, it is an organized religion. Okay, it is an organized religion. And of course, it is a monotheistic religion. Monotheistic and a single God, single, but there is no idol worship in Islam. Okay, so monotheistic is Allah. Allah is the God and omnipresent. Allah is the God. Okay, and they believe in monotheistic, only single supreme power which lies in Allah. Fine. Then Islam was basically founded by Prophet Muhammad. So Prophet Muhammad was a common man, but he had his own family. But then somehow, in his dreams, I think the spirit, the kind of God message has come to him. So then he started his own life in a contributing to the whole life is his whole life, contributing for the preachings of the messages given by Lord Allah. Okay. Now, Islam prescribes 5 duties. What are the principles usually which unites the Islam and also which makes a very spiritual life of the Islam person here? Okay. Usually we try to take up, these are also the duties of a person who is following the Islam belief systems. Okay. They are to declare in the Shahada, the witness that there is one God, Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger. So God's messenger is Muhammad. So God has selected Muhammad in order to preach the messages which has been transformed into Muhammad to the whole world communities. Okay. So we have, if I am a follower, I should declare that Muhammad is my prophet. He is my messenger. Then they must offer prayers 5 times in a day. Right? I think we all know that every follower of Islam will definitely goes to a masjid or at least sit at home and do at least 5 times prayers in a day. Okay, so it is very important on Friday also. Okay, then again, they must pay an obligatory tax called the zakat to the needy. Say for example, so it is a kind of economic contribution. You are giving some economic contribution from your own earnings as a form of what is called a charity. Okay, so this has to be, it is a very compulsory to be followed by any Islam follower. Okay, who believe in Islam, they have to follow that. They have to give some contribution to the needy persons in the form of zakat. We call it as zakat. Okay, then they must fast during the month of Ramadan. So we all know that 40 days, it has been a very the pious days for the Islam community people, and where they go for what is called the fasting in those 40 days, very pure days for those people. And also, so for 40 days, fasting is very important, and it is compulsory for all the followers of the Islam people. So depending upon the health condition of the person maybe. Okay, so that consideration is there, I think so. Fine. If they are able to make and pilgrimage is very important even for the Islam community people. Fine. So where pilgrimage to Mecca. So Mecca visit is very important in lifetime of a person. So if I believe in Islam, I should at least in my lifetime visit at least one time the Mecca. So this pilgrimage tour is very important for me as a believer in Islam. Okay. So Quran is a holy book for the Islam community. Like Hinduism have Mahabharata as a holy book, right? So we have the epic called the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. So it is the holy book usually be considered as the Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So likewise, we also have in Islam, the Quran as a very holy book, which includes all the sayings, the messages of the Allah, which has been written in the book called Quran. Okay. Now, of course, it is the second dominant religion in the Indian society. So we have in the world communities of followers of Islam in the world communities. Throughout the world communities, you find some, in some form or the other form, you find the Islam community followers here, right? So this is all about the emergence of Jainism, Buddhism, and Islam in the Indian society. So like after the Hinduism, which is considered as the major dominant religion, and the Vedic religion, where it has given a base for the social organization, Hindu social organization in Indian society, giving importance to Purusharthas and the Dharma system, the Ashrama Dharma. Then we come across Jainism, Mahavira's Jainism, also Gautama Buddha's Buddhism, which was totally and went against the existing order of Hindu social order, and which was totally opposed to the supremacy of the Brahmins and the supremacy of what is called the prior importance given to the ritualistic practices, sacrifices, etc. Okay, then we come across, but then still they were not considered as the organized religions, fine. So it is not an organized religion. So we don't find the followers praying, worshipping, or doing some pujas at particular days and all. This is not there in among the Buddhism and Mahavira's. Okay. So somewhere it is something where the elevated form of values you are worshipping. Okay. The elevated form of values we are worshipping. So as I said, it is a way of life. Usually it is rather than more than a religion, it is a way of life. But on the other side, we have Islam community where we also talk about it is as a monotheistic religion. Only single God exists in the Islam. So there are no multiple gods here. And also it is a non-idol worship. So there is no idol worship there is no absolutely absence of idol worship in the Islam community. Right? Islam followers, among the Islam followers. Quran is the holy book in the Islam community, and we have certain basic principles which say that every Muslim should follow all these principles, and definitely in lifetime they visit the Makkah, they have to go for at least 5-day prayers in the daytime, fine. And at the same time, they have to give some economic contribution from their own earnings, some form, at least one part of their economic, what is called the income, they have to contribute in the form of charity to the needy persons. So all these are the basic principles where usually make a person control and also modify their behavior patterns and go according to that particular way of life. Okay. Hope you all followed. Okay. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll start with tomorrow in the sense whenever we meet for the next class. I think it is the next class is only on 9. So when we meet on 9, I'm going to discuss about ideological perspective of Dumont, right, and Gurhe. And again, we have structural functionalism, Tarkal Parsons, Emile Durkheim, and conflict perspective, we have Karl Marx and other persons. Okay. So all these we are going to discuss, very important perspectives we have in the paper. So all this we are going to discuss in the next class. Any questions, any clarifications? Any questions and any clarifications?
No, madam.
Nachapam. Yamana doubts unaya?
Yes, madam.
Ardhamainda?
Yes, madam.
So please attend the other classes also. We have many important topics to be discussed in the other topics. Okay. So we are going to meet again on 9. Okay.
Okay.
So so please, meanwhile, before we start our second next class, you please get your syllabus. Okay. You just tell your friends to circulate the syllabus. Okay. WhatsApp la pettukondi. So that you have a knowledge which topic I'm talking, actually discussing. Okay. Saranamma. Techkondi koncham syllabus techkondi. Fine. So for today, I'll stop today. Fine. Thank you all. We'll meet again on 9th. I think so. Fine. Thank you all.